When we shared news of my pregnancy, my sister-in-law's schemed to disgrace me at my husband's celebration misfired, resulting in her arrest and a divorce. For 7 years, I, a 29-year-old woman, have been married to Harry. Our marriage is wonderful in every way, except for his sister, Kayla, who constantly brings negativity into our lives. Initially, when I met Kayla, I genuinely liked her. However, my opinion shifted as I discovered her toxic, deceitful, and pessimistic nature over time. Understanding her personality, I made significant efforts to stay in her good graces. Years ago, when Harry was 17, he dated a close friend of Kayla's but ended the relationship, feeling pressured by her influence. Later, at 23, when Harry was single, Kayla tried to pair him with another friend of hers, but he refused. She tearfully complained to their parents, insisting he marry someone she approved of, but they paid little attention to her demands during their ongoing disputes. As Harry and I fell in love, his parents were supportive, but Kayla remained distant and cold. She frequently mentioned his ex-girlfriends in my presence for no reason, highlighting their successes and suggesting he reconnect with them. This behavior persisted. Harry found it odd and asked her to stop referencing his past relationships. Others noticed her actions too. Kayla would become furious, mocking me and claiming I was envious, insisting Harry deserved better. Whenever we visited his parents for dinner, she'd conveniently invite one of his exes, claiming it was a chance encounter. She also obsessively checked my public Instagram, always the first to view my stories. If a man commented on my photos, she'd complain to Harry, accusing me of posting inappropriate content. Harry and I laughed off her accusations. When we decided to move in together, Kayla urged Harry to leave me, citing my supposed flaws and promising to find him a better match. Her words stung, especially since I'd always been kind to her. Her behavior worsened after our engagement. When we announced our engagement, everyone cheered, but Kayla stayed silent, then abruptly left the gathering. Later, she called Harry, crying and yelling that she deserved to hear the news first as his closest confidant. She sent me a near-threatening message, lecturing me on how to treat her brother, emphasizing her role as the primary woman in his life. The message was unsettling, and I left it unanswered, likely infuriating her further. Kayla began ignoring me entirely but inserted herself into our wedding planning, from dress shopping to my bridal shower. Despite criticism from my future mother-in-law and Harry, she openly expressed disdain for my choices. Her actions escalated. Once, while I discussed table decorations with my future mother-in-law, Kayla overheard and ridiculed my taste, claiming it lacked sophistication and reinforcing her belief that Harry deserved better. That was my breaking point. I confronted her, uninviting her from our wedding and expressing my frustration with her constant belittling. Stunned, as if she never expected resistance, Kayla was further angered when my mother-in-law supported me. Kayla later called Harry, complaining that I humiliated her and demanding he control me. Harry firmly backed my decision, stating she wouldn't attend the wedding unless she apologized. Reluctantly, she sent me a heartfelt apology, which I read but didn't respond to, exhausted by her drama and wedding preparations. Ultimately, she attended the wedding as I didn't want her to criticize us later. The wedding's pastel and pink theme was well received, but Kayla arrived in a black, floor-length dress with a veil resembling a mourner. We were shocked. She went around telling guests she was grieving the loss of her brother to another woman. At the reception, Harry confronted her about her attire. She played the victim, claiming her right to choose her outfit and accusing me of being controlling. Her disruptive behavior led my in-laws to ask her to leave, which was mortifying for me. Since then, I've avoided her. When I gave birth to our son, Nate, I banned Kayla from being near him. She protested, but my in-laws supported my decision, aware of her behavior. 2 years ago, Kayla suffered a miscarriage with her then-boyfriend, Jamie, which devastated her. Feeling sympathy, Harry and I softened, allowing her to visit and bond with Nate. Surprisingly, she was kind to him, though her old habits soon resurfaced. She constantly complained about her struggles, blaming others for her misfortunes and never admitting fault. This year, Kayla married but excluded us from her wedding, claiming I'd disrupt it. When confronted, she admitted she wore black to our wedding intentionally and feared I'd retaliate similarly. Outraged, I told Harry about her manipulation. After discussions with his parents, Harry informed Kayla that neither he nor his parents would attend or fund her wedding. She blamed me, but Jamie called out her hypocrisy. She apologized to secure her parents' financial support, and her wedding to Jamie proceeded smoothly. We attended and enjoyed ourselves. Less than 6 months later, Kayla showed up at our home, complaining about her failing marriage. We let her stay temporarily, and she vented endlessly about Jamie, blaming him for their fertility struggles. She also fixated on our lives, fabricating issues. For example, I go to the gym most mornings before work, sometimes bringing work clothes to shower and change there. Kayla questioned this routine excessively, asking why I bathed or needed the gym. I explained I liked staying fit and avoiding arriving at work sweaty, but she seemed oddly fixated during a lunch where my mother-in-law mentioned a friend's divorce due to infidelity. Kayla interrupted to ask Harry if we had a prenup. We froze. Harry bluntly said we didn't need one, as we both earned well. Kayla scoffed, warning him about being blindsided by cheaters. Offended, I demanded clarification. She accused me of infidelity, citing my gym routine and spare clothes, claiming it was her duty to warn Harry. She even suggested Nate might not be his son. Harry, livid, told her she didn't deserve motherhood and that her child was better off in heaven than with her. He called her a failure who projected her issues onto others. Kayla was stunned. Jamie, seated nearby, offered no comfort. My in-laws intervened, urging her to stop meddling. Harry apologized for her remarks about Nate, and we cut contact with her. My in-laws agreed she'd crossed a line. A year later, I learned I was pregnant again, unexpectedly. We chose Harry's birthday to announce it, hosted by his parents in their garden with close friends and family. Kayla, uninvited, showed up after hearing about the event. She hugged Harry, apologizing for past conflicts. He insisted she apologize to me for attacking my character. She claimed therapy had changed her perspective, and I nodded politely, wary but civil for Harry's sake. My in-laws offered to remove her if we felt uneasy, but Harry opted to avoid drama. Kayla's cheerful demeanor seemed unnatural, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt. During the cake cutting, Harry spoke lovingly about our marriage, warming my heart. We then announced our pregnancy, and the crowd erupted in joy. My mother and in-laws were emotional, but Kayla seemed upset and turned away. I worried she'd ruin the moment but was distracted by guests. As I waited for Harry to bring me food, Kayla approached, offering me a plate and expressing excitement for my pregnancy, claiming she wanted to make amends. I accepted politely but noticed shrimp on the plate, to which I'm allergic. Disappointed, I went to get my own food. Jamie congratulated me and asked why I wasn't eating. I explained Kayla's mistake with the shrimp, and he took the plate, saying he'd eat it. Minutes later, he began vomiting and collapsed. Panicked, Harry and Kayla rushed to him as he gestured at the plate. Realizing something was wrong, everyone was horrified. Kayla checked the plate, then glared at me, asking if I'd given it to Jamie. I confirmed I had. An ambulance was called and Jamie was hospitalized. Later, we learned Jamie had been poisoned. I nearly fainted, realizing the plate was meant for me, endangering my baby. No one else knew the full context yet, and the police were called to investigate. My in-laws stayed with us, shaken. I was terrified to reveal Kayla had given me the plate, fearing an investigation and her potential for further harm. I felt guilty for passing the plate to Jamie. Update 1. The overwhelming support has been surprising. I wrote this with trembling hands, unable to sleep, feeling partly responsible for Jamie's poisoning. I regret not discarding the plate. My husband senses my distress but doesn't know the full story. I agree with advice to discuss this calmly with my family. My in-laws' security cameras likely captured Kayla handing me the plate, which could confirm my account. I'll update after talking to them. Update 2. I'm grateful for my supportive in-laws. Over dinner, I shared how Kayla gave me the shrimp plate and Jamie consumed it, causing his illness. Their shock mirrored mine. Harry grew furious, and my in-laws suggested reviewing their security footage. The video clearly showed Kayla handing me the poisoned plate, leaving no doubt. Harry struggled with his sister's malice, and my in-laws were horrified. They decided to turn the footage over to the police, and Jamie will decide whether to press charges after his recovery. I'm consumed with guilt for giving him the plate and worry about his reaction. Update 3. It's been a month, and I'm navigating pregnancy amid this chaos. Kayla was arrested after the footage was provided to the police. She confessed immediately, not denying her actions. Jamie, devastated, chose to press charges and file for divorce. Kayla, now pregnant, begged my in-laws for leniency, citing their grandchild, but they refused to bail her out, insisting she face consequences. The police found evidence she tampered with the food to harm me, which backfired on Jamie. She faces charges for endangering life, causing harm, and food tampering. She tried blaming me, but Jamie remains resolute. Her trial is approaching. My son Nate is unaware of his aunt's actions, and we plan to explain the truth carefully. My pregnancy is monitored closely with regular ultrasounds, and we're keeping the baby's gender a surprise. My parents urged therapy due to my lingering fear of eating food I didn't prepare, a trauma from Kayla's actions. Harry supports me fully. Update 4. 8 months later, Kayla is imprisoned, found guilty after confessing in court to years of jealousy. She resented me because she wanted Harry to marry her friend, not an outsider. Our pregnancy announcement at Harry's birthday clashed with her own, fueling her rage. She mixed rat poison into my food, intending to hospitalize me, not harm the baby, and blamed me for Jamie's poisoning since I gave him the plate. The judge rejected her excuses. Jamie is divorced and remains part of our family. He reassured me I wasn't at fault, easing my guilt. Harry and I welcomed a daughter, bringing joy despite the past. Nate adores being a big brother. Our parents and in-laws guide us through this new chapter. Thank you for following our story. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more real-life experiences.